We're live. So cool. Hi everyone, thanks for joining. See there's a couple of people joining now. So we're about to give Sam a call in our first of kind of a series, just speaking to some of the players and seeing how they've been affected by coronavirus and how their lives are now in lockdown in various parts of the world. So let me sort this out and give Sam a call. So if you give me a second whilst I wait for him to get online. So if you guys have any questions throughout, drop them in the comments, and kind of towards the end I'll read some out. So let's see if he's on. Yeah, there we go, he's on. So hi Sam, how are you?
Hi mate.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad. How's things? I've seen you've also grown out your hair and the beard as well.
Yeah, got some clippers, but I haven't got around to cutting it, so it's just gonna have to be like this.
Yeah, can you trust your partner, or are you going to do it yourself?
No, I think I'll end up growing it. To be fair, wait till the barbers are back open and get it perfectly done. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no. I mean, I actually shaved my hair off about a month ago, so luckily it's starting to grow back. But I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah. Nice. But no, things. So I guess obviously a lot of the people that follow us don't actually live in the UK, and obviously they're in Egypt. So I think let's kind of start off by kind of saying how the lockdown's affecting you, and kind of just saying. So if you don't know that in the UK we can't really go out other than for exercise and things like that. So how has that kind of been affecting you?
To be honest, it hasn't been too bad. Because obviously with football, it's full time, it's non-stop at times, so it's actually giving quality time with my partner, with my daughter, and because obviously playing for Egypt as well in summers, I've missed good time with my family as well.
Yeah.
So it's actually been nice to just spend quality time, and to be fair, the missus have got us in a good routine. So I think sometimes we feel like we don't like to be told. Joe Williams, any sledges? Yeah, in the back garden, mate. In the back garden. No, I think we feel like we don't get told what to do, when to do it, but we actually do. We actually like to do it. It's a good routine. The baby's really happy, so we're spending quality time. So far, it's been good. We've adapted well and just trying to enjoy the time, because I'm sure before we know it'll be back to normal.
Yeah. You mentioned your routine. Kind of what type of routine? How are you spending your days? Kind of obviously training and what aspects that you're doing.
I'll tend to get my training indoors, maybe 8, 9, just get out of the way while fueling the tank. And then going to a golf course by mine, for a walk, or woods in the morning with the baby. Then we'll come back, have our lunch, play the house, just doing various sort of activities with a book. With a hiding around the house, just playing different things, really, just trying to keep her entertained. In the afternoons as well, so we're trying to all go out twice a day, really. I know they say once a day, probably just around the area for walks, just fresh air, and really try and keep it fun for the baby, really. I think as adults, we can sort of understand, but I think for the children and for the babies, their world's completely changed as well. Like my daughter's only 2.5, but she had 4 classes a week where she'd see her friends, and she had a routine, so just try and keep it as fun as possible. Then obviously keeping fit as well, and trying to be ready for the start of the new season.
Yeah, and how's your training changed? So is the club giving you kind of set workouts, or are you kind of doing it yourself? Or how's it working?
Yeah, the physios, they've given us set work to do, and they've given us an app as well, so you can track your things in there.
If you're not actually doing it and you're pretending to do it.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm not doing much. But now I'm working with someone online a few times a week, some mobility sessions, so I keep the body supple. What bike as well, so doing a bit on there. I think last Ramadan I was training too hard. I was training really hard and felt like I'd come back to football and I had so many niggles just because, as you know, you can't do it. That's to be certain. You have to train. Yeah. But you can't go crazy. If you go crazy, you end up injured. Yeah. And then I ended up getting injured in the off season, which I've never sort of done it in my career. Yeah. And I think that's just because I trained too hard. So just trying to get that balance of, I'm working hard, but I'm still resting, crazy with it. And I guess the kind of club, do they help you hold with Ramadan, the kind of understanding of that, and they know that you might not be putting that kind of same effort that you as others really? No, definitely. Yeah. The manager of the club is employed good people, and they're flexible and they understand. And I've been the physio has been really good as well, and let me sort of come in a few times as well, just so we can check on my body and make sure everything's okay. So it's great there. And it's what you need as well, because it makes no sense to really blast myself now and getting into for the start of the season. It makes sense. Yeah. They're good people. More importantly, they're good jobs, but they're good people, and they're very understanding as well. Yeah, because you've been with Paul Cook now for most of your, a lot of your career, from Chesterfield and now here. So I guess he understands you through that sense. So. Yeah, and I think he trusts me as well. He trusts me to do the work, but just like maybe a little bit different to the other boys. Just obviously the top here is. Yeah, that's fair enough. So I guess seeing what. So I guess one of the biggest questions that obviously people want to know is, will football return? We're obviously all sitting here, kind of sitting around, and I guess there was some. I mean, as a captain of a championship club, I guess have you been spoken to by anyone? Has someone asked for your opinion on that, or? Yeah, not really, to be honest. I think there's a desperation for football to return, isn't there? Yeah. And you've heard about lifting the nation from Iraq, certain things like that. So there's a clear desperation for it to start. I think it has to start, but when it's safe to do so. Yeah. I don't think you sort of legislate to say like social distancing 2 meters apart from everyone. So when you're walking down the road, somebody crosses over, you can't let that happen to playing on a pitch where you might be bleeding, someone might be infected, you're jumping over someone. Yeah. The two can't. It just doesn't make sense, does it? Just from a logical point of view. Yeah. So at some point it has to, but it's just when and to do so. But there is a desperation, especially for the Premier League and I think League One and League Two. Yeah. But there's going to be obstacles for sure. There's going to be challenges, because even then, I think it come out yesterday. The EFL said to train 25th. Yeah. But then that's in group of 2 or 3s and contact, and it's not football, is it? Yeah, no, that's the thing. I think obviously because financially they have to kind of get football back, or they're going to lose a lot of money. They're trying to do as much as they can, but as I think Danny Rose, and I think even I was looking, one of the so Adam Clayton, Middlesbrough, spoke out yesterday saying, oh well, we shouldn't be forced to return when the rest of the country is social distancing, because that puts us at risk. And I think people also need to realise that some of the players might not want to as well for that reason. Yeah, it makes perfect sense, and I think obviously speaking with a lot of our boys as well, it's your safety. And it seems like for us personally, we're probably going to be okay. If you do get it, you'll be all right. Your immune system will be strong, but it's when passing it on to family and things like that. So there's more than that. Danny Rose actually, he sort of said it. He's a very straightforward person, and he's you're not like morale. But obviously, the safety measures have to be put in place. They've yet to do so. I don't think they've yet to come to the players and said, right, you do this every day or that every day. Make sure we do this. So it's tough, really. But I don't think players should be forced to play at all. And I think it's interesting that they haven't come out and spoke to the players, directly, really, because that's, at the end of the day, you're the people who have to go and do that. So they should speak to you. But I mean, in some sectors, it's quite disappointing as well, because you hear on social media and on Facebook, I think, where people say, "Oh, these prima donna footballers, they don't want to go back to work, they want to play football."
Yeah.
Listen, we've been at our house for 10 weeks. We all love playing football.
Yeah.
Nothing more we all love to do than play football. But then it has to be the safety procedures, doesn't it? Because, God forbid you get it and you pass it on to a family and they struggle. You wouldn't be able to live with yourself, would you?
Yeah.
What football? So
exactly. People, as much as we want to see football, it is just, it's sport, it's entertainment. It's not life and death where, where other, some people might kind of, their jobs are kind of, a doctor, they have to go in, they have to do that. Whereas, but as much as we love football, we can live without it for an extra couple of months, things like that. But do you see a point where you say, kind of, we've been waiting for the season for so long? When is that point where you say, let's stop the season and we move on to next season? Kind of, because some people are saying, keep trying until September or October with this season. But is that fair? Is that, what do players want?
Well, it depends how you do it. So this season, the only fair way is to finish it, isn't it? That's the only fair way. That is the only. I think we all agree that is the only fair way. There's been speaking about points per game, hasn't there? You finish on points per game, and I get that. If it had to be cancelled, that would be obviously the logical one. But then, if you was to get relegated on points per game, the whole beauty of football is comebacks, revival. There's still 9 games to go. It's a lot of football. And
exactly.
Obviously, the Premier League, we know Liverpool will win. Certainly, the Championship, that's not done yet. There's still plenty more twists and turns in that. So the only fair way would be to finish it, in my opinion. But again, they're dead set on this deadline, aren't they? Where they're saying no. It has to be done by a certain time. If that does happen, then it'll have to be points per game. But other than that, for me, just try and finish it, because otherwise that is the only fair way, isn't it? Because at least if you finish a season, then you can all sort of say, right, I finished it, because you're not going to please anyone regardless. But I think points per game, if you can't finish it, that would be the most.
Yeah, and I guess Wigan had a very good spell just before the lockdown as well. So it's the best form at the last 5 games in the Championship. But so that's shown how you made that comeback out of the relegation zone. And I guess unfair then if something like if they decide whatever reason that obviously we're going to find, but for other clubs there's not that opportunity for them to be able to do what you guys have just done. Have that comeback.
I think at every level, like the Premier League, it's tough, and it in a way it wouldn't be fair, but it may be something they have to do to get next season going. But for me, the only fair way would be to finish the season. I think so.
Yeah, no, fair. So we've also asked a couple of questions and we put some tweets out. I've got a couple of questions that some people have wanted to ask you. It's a little Q&A. So, the first one is, who's the hardest player that you've played against and why?
Probably Kevin De Bruyne. Amazing. Probably the third in the world, in my opinion. So he's a very special player, so I'd say.
Was that against Belgium or was it Man City? Yeah. So I think that some people are saying, would it be Suarez or would it be Kevin De Bruyne?
Yeah, Suarez, unbelievable. He just plays the game a different way. Doesn't care as well. He tries anything, tries absolutely anything, but he's just got that much his ability to do it. Yeah,
but Kevin De Bruyne, obviously, kind of just unbelievable player. So yeah, that's fine. And then who's the best player that you've played with? Is that an easy question or is it?
Obviously Salah.
Yeah,
he definitely. You have to say Salah. I think at club level probably Reece James.
Okay,
last season only a baby, 19, but
he's a Chelsea player who kind of was on loan West Wigan, wasn't he?
Yeah, got a really big future ahead of him. So I'd play him.
That's fair enough. And I guess, so what else we got? So I think that leads on to one thing. So you obviously been in Egypt international, played a number of games. We haven't seen you in the national team kind of the last year or so. I guess, do you still have that desire to play for Egypt? Is that kind of one thing that you still want to do? If you got the ability, is that something you want to do?
Yeah, definitely. I think with Aguirre, I don't feel as if I probably had a fair shot. Obviously, the first camp had a lot of niggles, so I had to pull out of that camp. Second camp, the same. So I couldn't really get up and running to show him actually what I could do, which was disappointing. And which is no fault of his, but because these things, your body's not right, you can't play. But obviously, the new manager's come in now, and I'd love an opportunity. I don't think I've shown the best of me yet. I think during Hector Cooper's reign, he was very sort of loyal to a certain 11, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That has positives and negatives, because the positives are you're giving so much belief to that 11 players that you're hoping to get the best out of them. But the negative is when you don't get the best out of them, then you've got players who maybe you should have chose as well.
Yeah. And I guess that's what we saw with just the results, in the sense that he only had one tactic, Cooper, and that was kind of it. Yeah. And Egypt didn't have a backup or anything like that, or no other different type of game plan. So,
I mean, I've seen it myself, because our manager at Wigan, to be fair, he's sort of like, he likes that old team.
Yeah.
He gives people belief even when they're not playing, when he plays them. And that can get you great things. You can play yourself back into form, give you a great confidence. But then when it doesn't go well, people ask the questions, don't they? Well, why haven't you tried this player? Why haven't you tried that player? So, yeah, I mean, but to be honest, I did like Hector Cooper. I did like him as a man.
So
as a man.
I remember we had a chat about this a couple of years ago. Obviously, it seemed like all the players loved him, but none of the fans or anyone really liked him because of the result. They were a bit boring.
It's hard as a manager, because the hardest bit is because you can go out and tell your team, you can go out and tell them to play like Pep Guardiola, right?
Yeah.
You can, like, this is the team, it's tick-attack or whatever. If the players can't do it and they don't do it, then whatever they produce, you're judging them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think it was tough. It was tough, to be honest. And that sort of thing, the things fans don't see. Fans don't get to see the team talks or the style of play or how we're proposing to play. Fans just see the end product. If it's not good enough, then you just get slated, don't you?
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's what. Just was looking actually at the screen. I had a really interesting question someone's asked. So Mustafa just asked, how is Amir Zaki remembered at Wigan? I don't think, because obviously it was a while ago, but he had an unbelievable 6 months. The first 6 months, 13 goals, and then just completely fell off. But in the club, in the fans, how was he still remembered?
He's talked about really highly. Again, people talk about that 6 months where he was an absolute fire.
Yeah.
He was an absolute animal, weren't he? Strong, physical, great.
Yeah.
Scored lots of goals. After the first 6 months, I thought he was going to go to Liverpool.
Yeah.
But I think the big challenge in football is consistency, isn't it?
Yeah, because he scored that bicycle kick against Liverpool, and then I think they kind of had some interest in him, and then
yeah, he's really fondly.
Yeah, that's good. I think obviously you're the third Egyptian who's played for Wigan. Yeah. Zaki, Mido, and then yourself. So I think Egyptian fans always they remember Wigan as a club that Egyptians play for. So yeah, so it's good to see that his legacy kind of still remembered at the club. But
definitely.
And it's a shame because he had such a bright kind of career, and I think he just kind of completely fell off.
Yeah, great ability. But I think that's the toughest thing, isn't it? Being consistent and over time.
Yeah,
that's the toughest thing.
Yeah, nice. Another question we've just got in. So, what are your thoughts on? Do you know Alexander Jacobson?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on him? Do you think he has a future in the Egyptian? I haven't actually followed. I don't know where he's at now, but I think I remember him when we were, maybe 5-6 years ago. He had a lot of potential. Kind of went to a camp, I think, as well. So he was a good player. But yeah, I've not. Have you spoken to him recently, or?
Not really talented player.
Yeah.
Really player, lots of ability. I think for him to sort of try and get back in the national team, he'll either have to play for one of the top 2 clubs in Egypt or try and play in a competitive league in Europe. I'm not sure where he is at the minute, but no, really nice guy. And like I said, it depends, doesn't it? If you can get that good move, he can showcase his talents. There's no reason why he can't get recalled in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You mentioned kind of playing Egypt. Have you had any other desire or kind of ever in the back of your mind that maybe kind of later in your career you ever want to go to play in Egypt? Or
yeah, at some point it would be nice. I've always loved playing for the national team. It's been amazing for me. So at some point I'd love to play. I'd love to play there.
Yeah, definitely. Probably not a career move now, but maybe something later down the line. Let's see a couple of the questions we've been asked. So, who was your favourite player growing up, and what club did you follow when you were growing up?
Man United growing up. Favourite player was Roy Keane, Xavi, Zidane. These sort of players growing up. Always loved to watch football.
Yeah,
European football. But yeah, Man United in that era, amazing. Also Wolves as well. Wolves Academy and Alex Hayes, the Paul Inces, the Colin Camerons, these sort of players as well.
Yeah. No, that obviously that United team, and for me actually Zidane was, I think he's such an underrated player in the sense that he might not have had those stats to say he was one of the best, but to watch him play, and I think especially playing the similar position to you as well, like he's somebody you want to learn off, and he was definitely one of my favourites as well. What other questions we've got? Let's see. Someone's asked, what is your favourite restaurant to eat at?
Favourite restaurant to eat at? Me and the missus went St. Peter's Kitchen a few months ago. That was quite nice in London. No, not in London. In Manchester, sorry. That was nice. Yeah, enjoyed that.
Nice. Okay, so that's somebody obviously wanted to know what is your favourite type of food, like in general? Is it Italian or Chinese?
I don't know, to be honest. I haven't really got a set style, but obviously the missus is a really good cook, so I enjoy her food a lot, definitely.
Fair, nice. Adam's asked, so Motman's asked, can you speak Arabic, and how do you communicate with players? So you speak a bit, or?
Yeah, no, I was taking lessons for a bit. I need to sort of get back taking them. But the majority of guys, they speak fairly good English, to be honest. Yeah. And I think when you play football as well, there's that universal language of phrase. So the communication is never been a problem.
Yeah. I guess who in that national team were you kind of close with? The players that were speaking English and that played abroad, I guess.
Yeah, really close with Coca. Speak a lot with him. Like, he was really good with me. Hagati as well, good friend of mine. He helped me settle into the national team fast. A lot of the guys really good guys. It's funny, like Wedge.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, like obviously he doesn't speak any English hardly, but
he seems like a personality, right? So
yes, he's a good guy. We're getting really well. Then there's like the guys, younger guys like Kareem Hanes, Amir Tarek, like this. But no, really, really good people. And even like towards the last few camps under Chuka, when Chikabella come, and it was amazing to be with him. Obviously, he's a legend.
Yeah.
Really, really nice guy as well. But to be honest, it's a really good group. Good group. It was easy to be a part of, and it's something I really enjoyed.
Yeah, no, it seems. I think
Rami as well. Roomed with him. Me and Rami roomed for a while, and Rami's a really good guy as well.
Yeah, I guess it seemed like that era, and obviously we reached the AFCON final as well. That was a very tight knit team, and everyone was kind of good friends. And I guess they kind of brought everyone the same age and got on really well. So that was good to hear. Yeah. Let's see what other questions we've got. There's a couple. There's one that I just saw and it's gone. Okay, so this is the toughest one. So are you a Zamalek fan or an Al Ahly fan?
Well,
neither. My
uncle Hagazi Morsy is a crazy Zamalek fan.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy Zamalek. I love Zamalek. But no, I've got family who support both. But my uncle Hagazi is the biggest advocate of Zamalek.
Yeah, I'm also a Zamalek fan, so that's good. But I think we're probably in the minority here, but
Yeah.
I guess so, for people that don't know, obviously you've got family in Egypt and family in England, and I guess you still speak to your family in Egypt regularly, don't you?
Yeah. All my dad's side of the family still in Egypt.
Yeah. Got a question here from BBM Sport Coaching, Brendan. He says, what advice would you give to a young professional about turning a talent into a career? What is the difference needed?
It's like we touched on, that sort of consistency, that dedication. It's all these buzzwords, but it's just about keep doing the right things, keep practicing. I think the beauty of the internet now, and you, for example, you can get all the clips off your best player, and you can find on YouTube all, say, speed work, agility work, whatever. So there's masses of information out there. So it's up to you to put the time in. It's up to you to develop a routine, develop a plan, which you're going to be committed to, which you're going to do every day, which you're going to keep yourself accountable for. And if you do that, and if you do have a talent and you mix it with the hard work and the dedication, then you'll have a chance for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's answer your question there. And then we'll go, last question. So what has been your career highlight so far from training?
Playing in the World Cup, because up until the last two games against Colombia and Belgium, like, I didn't feature in hardly any of the friendlies.
Yeah.
And as friendlies were coming, he was trying new plays, and so I'm thinking, I didn't even think I'd go to the World Cup before Colombia and Belgium. And then what he'd do is if he wanted to bring a midfielder off, he'd bring a midfielder off, put Abdullah Saeed midfield, and bring an attacking midfielder into the attacking midfield role. So when Tariq went down, I thought, okay, I'll bring someone else on. And then obviously, to my delight, Sam, come on. That
must have been obviously amazing, amazing moment, really. I mean, I remember I was there in Russia, and then it was a great atmosphere, great stadium. And really, obviously, results-wise, wasn't the best for Egypt, but as a spectacle, it was a really good kind of World Cup.
Nah, it was, and obviously we conceded late against Uruguay, didn't we? If we could have held up for a draw, it could have been slightly different for sure. Yeah,
and I think that was our best game as well in the World Cup. We lost, but played to the best. But that's how it is really in football, isn't it? So
yeah.
All right. Thanks very much for coming on. And it's good to kind of have a catch up, see how players are doing, and glad to hear that everything's well with you, and training as per usual.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Cheers. Thank you very much, man.
See you soon, bro.
See ya.